Hi, good evening. I have Mr. Girish with me, and I'm here to take some feedback on Lean Kanban 16 from Mr. Girish. Girish, hi, thanks for being here. If you could just give us a brief introduction of yourself and the role that you have in your organization.
Thanks. My name is Girish. I represent a company called SKF Global Technologies. I represent product engineering portfolio for them.
Great, thanks, Girish. This, I believe, is your second Lean Kanban experience in India. So, the conference in India. So, what has been your experience this year?
I think it's good to listen to the thought leaders this time, as the thought leaders themselves are involved in growing the Kanban community across the world. As they travel, they carry quite a lot of experience, and to listen to them how things are shaping up is quite insightful, I should say.
And what are your key takeaways from this year's conference?
I think the failure of companies in the very competitive world in the new economy, some of the emerging management concepts on how we manage innovations, especially in a service setup, is something that is quite emerging, and that's I would say is a key takeaway for me there.
Okay. And what changes would you like to see in the Lean Kanban conference per se? So since we are going to have it next year, we're planning it bigger and better. But what changes do you kind of want? What would you want to see?
I think the format is excellent as it exists today. If I had to list a couple of improvements, I would say bring in more thought leaders. There's quite a whole host of people out there. The second one would be to really put 3 tracks for beginners, intermediate, and experts, so that based on their maturity, they can actually take the deep dive into their respective channels, I should say.
Okay, that's a good feedback. And I think the last question from our side, a pretty significant one. How do you see Kanban in really catching up in your industry as well as probably in the Indian or in the Asia Pacific kind of segment? What is your experience? How do you see Kanban as a philosophy or as a probably even as a product? How is it catching up?
I think the attractiveness of Kanban is basically an evolutionary approach, and we have a whole host of management frameworks. The Kanban doesn't basically expect you to discard them. Basically, you can continue with them, but rather evolve yourself in a new direction, make yourself from a fragile organization to an anti-fragile organization, and it really helps you to navigate the transition in a seamless way. And I see many companies across industries adopting it as a key to their success.
And you see Kanban moving up in the coming years?
Absolutely. This is a framework that is, I would say, fit for purpose, very flexible. As I said, evolutionary. This has, I would say, key takeaways for everybody, irrespective of their industry or organization maturity.
I think that's all from our side. We just wanted to take this feedback from you. Thanks a lot for coming in, and thanks for gracing the occasion. Thanks.